Hit on finish by leaving the default options to their defaults. Hit on finish. Vikram is asking, can you explain retrofit on recycler view? You want to display the data on recycler view, Vikram? Okay, sure. Fine. How about others? Others kindly respond. Ashima, Akansha, Anuj, Hemant, Gopi, Ishika, Shweta, Ravikiran, Altaf Raja, Sarfraj, Vikash. Please let me know if you want me to explain the same. How to use recycler view on, how to use retrofit, get data and display it on recycler view. How many of you want me to explain? Okay, right. As I did not get any response, I will go ahead and open retrofit too. So here I have some data. Okay. I'm not worried about posting of data. I'm worried about getting of data and displaying it on the recycler view. Okay. I want to display this data, which is from source, on the recycler view. If that is the case, I need to jump into activity underscore main.xml. Here, in the place of text view, I should be putting up a recycler view. Okay. So instead of text view, I'd like to modify it as recycler view. Now this text is useless for us. Text size is also useless. My computer was stuck. Give me a minute, please. We don't want these two. Right. So this recycler view idea also I'm changing it to recycler view. Right. So here I will be replacing this text view with recycler view. I would like to call it recycler view only. And here also it is the same recycler view. Instead of text view, it should be recycler view. These kind of errors, you know how to handle them, right? Build project, clean project, and they will be gone. Right. Now, instead of showing text on the text view, we need to show the text on the recycler view. I'm removing this entire for loop for a reason. Now I'd like to design how I want to display each item on recycler view. How do I do that? Layout, right click, go to, sorry, right click, go to new, choose layout resource file. Let us call row design. Hit OK. As there are no images, nothing. I'm just dragging and dropping in a text view, setting the text to all the four sides of the screen. Okay, I'm not doing much design here. Here, source data. The idea of your text view can be source data. Nice. So this constraint view, for width it can be match parent, but for height it should be wrap content. This entire constraint layout, height should be wrap content, width can be match parent. Good. Let us also give some margin around this. And you can design in the way you like it. Right? Okay, 5 dips of space. Now it's time to actually create the adapter. Go to new, right click, go to new, choose Java class, resize adapter, some name, some any other name for that. And here what do we do? Extends adapter class of recycler view, inside which you're supposed to give the inner class. Unfortunately, recycler view holder is not an inner class available right now. So if you want to create it, you do Alt Enter, choose create class recycler view holder. Now do Alt Enter, implement methods. You do Alt Enter, make recycler view. Create construct. Nice. How to get data? First of all, and how do you get the data? So you get the data as a source object. Source is source. You can initialize both of them and hit OK. That creates a constructor first. After that, you know how to fill this. You'll send a new object of recycle view folder in which we will be attaching the layout. Layout data dot from context dot in play r dot layout dot act control designs. I want to attach to the parent and finally do not want to attach it permanently. So in the get item count, what do we have? We have source dot get body. What is it? Okay, let me check what do we have in source. Okay. All right. So we will be getting a list of sources, it seems. Okay, let me check the interface. Yeah, we are waiting for list of sources, right? So here also in the recycler view adapter, we're not supposed to wait for sources. Instead, we should wait for list of sources. I can create the constructor once again by removing it. Alt insert constructor initialize source. Now you will have a proper sources dot get size. sources dot size. So on the layout, we only have text view and creating one. And initialize this text view. Text view is equal to item view dot find view by ID r dot id dot text view. The ID that we have is the source data. Source data, please. In on-bind view folder, all we need to do is folder dot text view dot set text dot sources dot get of position dot get body. Nice, that's it. Now we have to head back to main activity because we have initialized this recycler view, but we haven't used it. That is why you create a new object of this recycle adapter. I'd love to call it as adapter. It's equal to new recycle adapter. And for this recycle adapter, you're supposed to pass in the context. Along with that, you're supposed to pass in the sources because that is a list. The reason why you get an error for this is because you are inside a few methods. That is why it is showing an error. In that case, you can either write main activity.this or you can also write get application context or get base context. Whatever. Once this adapter is created, you can set the adapter on top of the recycler view. Finally, you know how to set the layout manager. New linear layout manager. This. So instead of this, I told you that you can write get application context or get base context or what. Now, if you connect your device and run it, the output would be in the way you want it. Give me a second, I'm connecting my device. The app is up and running right now. If you click on get, you get the data in the recycler, right? Clear, Vikram? You want more explanation? Please feel free to ask. Right. So I'm closing this. Retrofit is a different concept. Recycler view is also a different concept. So for shade preferences, thanks Akansha for responding. Just type in shade preferences Android. Then you'll get a link from developer.android. Meanwhile, let us open our old shared preferences example or the project. Okay. So if you see what is the shared preferences file. Okay. Sometimes you want to store a small amount of data. I'll write it like this. Sometimes you would like to store, you would need to store small amounts of data, but critical data into a file that is internal to the storage. Among the options you have, shared preferences is the best. The reason shared preferences are private to the application. What does it mean? When the application gets uninstalled, application the application gets uninstalled, the shared preferences files will also get uninstalled. Second, shared preferences with shared preferences, you can store values along with keys. If you do not have a key, do not remember the key, you cannot retrieve the data. Shared preferences. About shared preferences, these are the some points. So you can create shared preferences using three methods: get shared preferences, get preferences, and get context shared preferences. I'm not sure which third one is, but more generally, get shared preferences can be used. Okay. Please go through this documentation. You'll understand it better. As we have less time, I will explain one while teaching you coding. Okay. I'd like to prepare the UI. And guys, this UI, I will be using the same UI, the same file for another 3 projects from now. Along with this project, for another 3 projects, actually 4 projects, I will be using the same design. Right? So we'll design it once and we'll use it continuously for this entire week, probably. So go to text, get the plain text, drop it on the screen, top constraint to the top of the screen, left constraint to the left of the screen, right to the right. And you know how to handle this, right? You want to make this width to match constraint, so you're doing it. Width, I'm setting it to 50 dips. So that is much bigger. Also, if I scroll down, I get to see text is filled in with name. I'll remove it. I'll fill this with hint. Enter your name. What is the ID given? Person underscore name. So that is the ID that I want to have. Next, I want to have the age. So age is always a number, right? So get the number, set the top constraint to the bottom constraint of the first text box, left to left, right to right. Make this as match constraint. Change the ID to person underscore age. Refactor. I like to change this height to 50 dB. If I scroll down a little bit, I'll find some hint. I'll ask the user enter your age. Now drag in two buttons now. Button 1, button 2. Select these two buttons. Right click, go to chains, create a horizontal chain. Baseline the second button to the first button. Such a common design. Top constraint of first button to the bottom constraint of the text box. Now the first button is selected, make it as match constraint. Select the second button, also make it as match constraint. And both of them are looking, both of them are seen side by side to each other. Now the first button text should say save. Okay, select the first button. Go to text attribute, make it as save. Second button will say it as load. Finally, we will have a text view here. Set the top constraint of the text view to the bottom constraint of the button. Bottom constraint to the bottom end of the screen, left to left, right to right. Give it an ID. Person result. RESULT result. Nice. This is sufficient for me. So far, so good. Okay. Now let us connect them. There are two edit text boxes. Person underscore name, person underscore age. There is a text view. Person underscore result. Okay. And also on the design, you can have an on-click event handler for save. So on-click, save data, create the method on main activity, go back. For load also, you do the same. On-click, load data, create the method on main activity. Nice. Very nice. Now these things should be initialized, isn't it? So person name equals to find view by ID, r.id dot person underscore name. Person age equals to find view by ID, r.id dot person underscore age. Person underscore result is equal to find view by ID, r.id dot person underscore result. You know how to handle these errors, right? Go to build and hit on clean project. So far, so good. Now, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want to get the name entered by the user on the text box person name. Put it inside the shared preferences file. So we'll create an object for shared preferences I would like to call it shade preferences, or simply we'll call it preferences. Okay? Preferences. Now you may ask me, you told us that shade preferences is a file that is created in the internal memory of your application, which means when the application is uninstalled, the file will also get uninstalled. Okay. Now, in what real scenarios would these shade preferences files be used? In what scenarios would they be used? You may ask me. Some applications, they do remember your usernames and passwords. Correct? Happening through shade preferences. In some gaming applications, the score is stored. The highest score is stored in the application. It's happening through shade preferences. Right? So anytime you want to store small amount of data for future use, if the application is closed and reopened, the shape preferences file should get the data whatever is stored before. Okay. So for multiple reasons we use shape preferences file. Some reasons I have given, right? I'm giving you some reasons. Not only this, guys, not only this. Some applications, they do offer settings to the user. Correct? Settings to the user. Some applications would offer that. So if you want to change any of those settings, once they are changed, they get stored in the shade preferences file. So there are multiple uses of shade preferences file for all of us. That is the reason you're supposed to master it. So step 1. So to do 1 is what? Create the shade preferences file if not created. Or open the shade preferences file that is created. For both of them, we will write the same line of code. If there is a shade preferences file with that name is already present, we will open it. Otherwise, we will create a new one. That's what we are going to do. So preferences equals to get shade preferences of passing the name of the shade preferences file. What is the name of the shade preferences file? It would be my_prefs. And always the mode of your shade preferences file should be private, because shade preferences files are private to the application. So simply what will we do? Mode private we'll choose. Okay. Point to remember. Shade preferences file should always be created private to the application. That is why mode is private. So with this line, as we discussed earlier, if there is a shade preferences file, that will get opened. If there is no shade preferences file with that name, it gets created. And generally, not generally, Shared preferences files are XML files, guys. They're simply XML files that are created. Okay. So myprefs.xml, we would be finding it out once we are done with this application. Now here, the actual to-dos comes in place. So to-do to save the data into the shared preferences file. So how do we save it? To-do 2.1. First, read the data from edit text boxes. So how do we read it? String name n is equal to person name dot get text dot toString. Very simple. In the similar way, int age a is equal to person age dot get text dot toString. So we already know that we will get an error and we know how to handle this. We should have to select wrap using integer.parseInt that changes this error and reverts our error back to normal. Typecast or data. Okay. So to do 2.2. Okay. Create the instance of shared preferences.editor. Preferences.editor interface. Is a class or interface? I'm not sure. I'm confused. So what we will do is we'll call preferences. Sorry, we'll call shared preferences interface, and on top of it, we'll call editor. Editor is also an interface. So the object would be editor that is equal to how do we initialize this? How do we initialize this? We can simply call the preferences object, and on top of it, we can call edit. That's it. Now, with the help of editor, so to do 2.3. So with the help of the editor, put values that you want to store into the shared preferences. Simply what will we do? We will simply write editor dot put string. So the string that I want to put is the name. So the person name. I'm giving the key as the name. And the value that I want to store is n. In the similar way, you would also like to store an integer. So you'll select put n. You also have put float, put double, put char, etc. Right? Put string is also there. Put int is also there. All these put methods are there. Now for all these put methods, the first one that you give is the key, because with the key only you can fetch the data. So age I want to store is A. Finally, you can call, okay, so last to do 2.4 is please call apply method on top of the shared preferences object. Sorry, on top of the editor object to save the changes that you made. So if you do not call editor.apply, your changes will not get reflected. Okay. In the place of apply, note. In the place of apply, commit can also be called. Nice. So is it clear so far? Are you clear with saving of data? Both are same. What are same? Akanksha is saying both are same. I don't know what are saying. No. Apply is more thread friendly, Akanksha. You can also call commit, that works the same way. However, the more thread friendly mechanism is to call apply. Noted. Thank you. Nice question. Now, what is the final to do? So, to do 3 is what? Read data from shared preferences file and display it to the user. And display it simply. So, in that, what is the first to do? Sub to do. To do 3.1. First, read data. So, how do you read data? We should check if shared preferences, if the preferences dot contains of name, contains with key, or we can write it directly also. String n is equal to, okay, preferences dot get string of, you pass the name. The key is name, E capital, and name is name. And if the data is not available, you can write data is not available. Int a is equal to preferences dot get int of, what is the key given? It is age. If there is no age, you can pass 2 to it or 0 to it. Nice. Now finally display the data. To do 3.2. Display the data. Where do you display it? On the text view. So is text view connected? Yes, person result. So simply you can write person result equals to, sorry, person result dot set text of name, put a backslash n that goes to the new line and display age A. You're good to run the application now and see the output. Right. So the same error got it once again. Now you can run the application and see the output. Right. So you can enter your name and age, 18 years from the past 12 years. If you hit on save, the data will be saved, and if you hit on load, the data gets loaded. Easy, right? And when the save button is pressed, we can reset these. Yes, Akash, we can reset these edit text boxes, because every time if I want to change it, that is not a good thing, right? So we can reset the data. So to do 2.5, reset the data So if you want to reset name in text box, you write person name dot get text dot clear. In a similar way, if you want to clear age, you do the same. Person age dot get text dot clear. That resets your form. So now I'd like to enter Naresh, age 15. Now if I hit on save, the data is reset in the text boxes, and if I hit on load, the data is coming in Naresh and 15. Now you may wonder, where do we have this file? Where do we have this file? So the file does not reside in the public folder. It resides in the private folders of your application. And when you're debugging your application, you can access it, but while you release it, you also cannot access your own shared preferences file. So when you're debugging your application, when your application is running on your emulator, you jump into the device file explorer, which is an option present generally on the right hand side. Device file explorer. Now you got to see my device. Simply jump into the data and then into the data once again. I'm showing this path to you guys. Please observe carefully. First, I opened my own device, then jumped into data, and then jumped into app. Sorry, jumped into data again. Now, if you scroll through, you will find the package name of your current application. So, in.Naresh Technologies dot shared preferences. Inside this, you will have a folder by the name shared prefs. And if you open it, we will get myprefs.xml. You can see Naresh and value 15 here. Okay. That's how it is done. Should I explain this? Should I re-show this entire path to you once again? Because this path, the same path we will follow for internal files, external files, SQLite, and etc. Do you want to see it once again? Okay. All we need to do is first select the device on which your application is currently running on. Now choose data. Again choose data. That's it. Now we need to choose the package name of your app. So my package name of the app is in.Naresh Technologies dot shared preferences. Here it is. And if you jump into shared preferences, you get to see myprefs.xml because that is the name we gave it. Then you can see the values right away. Okay. So there is much to do with shared preferences. You can explore the official documentation. I first of all just practice this one. If you could practice this one, then further exploration of the concept will be easy for you. All right. Let me push this code to GitHub, and that takes us to the end of the session. All right. The notes is also updated on Classroom. Git add dot git commit shared preferences git push origin main master. That's it. Right. Uh, okay, no problem. We'll do it again. Okay, there is a problem with Bitbucket, it seems. Tomorrow we'll upload the code. I'll upload the code tomorrow. Tomorrow we shall see how to work with internal storage in Android. We'll create a small file and see how we can work with it. We'll also have, if time permits, tomorrow we will also cover up external storage in Android. Thank you so much, guys, for your patience and understanding. If there are any questions, you can shoot to me on my email, or you can ask me tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day ahead. Take care.